In this video, I'll be going through every single Discord markdown and formatting there is, whether that be from bold to italics to code blocks to little tricks like sending blank message to your friends. Let's get started. So first of all, we have simple markdown text, which is simple to use, formatting, used in basically everyday conversations on Discord. There will be things like bold, underline, and more. Alright, so first up is the normal text. Obviously, just type, nothing special. Alright, then we got the italics, which is where you put an asterisk in the front and at the back of what you're trying to type. So, like so, you do this, and then you get the italics font. Right, next is bold, where you put two asterisks at the front and back of whatever you're trying to type. So, bold, and then you put two asterisks to enclose it, and then you get the bold. Alright, next up, you get the underline text. So you have to put two underscores in front and behind, like this, and that is the underlined text. Alright, next we've got the strike through text, where you put two of these squigglies at the front, so, and then two behind to enclose it, and then you send it. So did I spell this wrong? Alright, so next up we have the spoiler tag, which is where you just put two of these lines, type whatever you want inside, enclose it with two more lines, whatever they're called at the end, I'm not too sure, but here you go, you click it, and there you go, now your text is enclosed within the spoiler tag. Alright, so next we've got the quote. You put this arrow in, make sure to leave a space, and it'll turn into that. Now you just write whatever you want, like that. You can also put three arrows in, it does the same thing. I'm not sure why there's an option for three arrows and one arrow when you're quoting, because they both do exactly the same thing, but it is what it is. You can also combine any number of these. So like you can combine the italics and bold by putting three asterisks. And then we got bold italics like that. 1, 2, 3. As you can see, bold italics, you can combine any number of these, or you can even combine every single one of them. So if we combine every single one of them, here we go. So here we have the quoted, strike through, bold, underline, italics marked as spoilers. We've got the spoiler tags, the underline, the strike through, the three asterisks, and the quote. So now we send, and there we go. We've got the quoted, strike through, bold, underline, italics marked as spoilers. Next up, we have code block and colored text. You probably won't be using these in your average conversations, but you may decide to use them when you're structuring rules or like any announcement type of thing. So first up, we have a single line code block where you just put one backtick at the front and one backtick to enclose it, and then you write whatever text you want inside. Like so, and done. And next up, we have a multi-line code block where you, instead of one backtick, you put three backticks at the front and back. You can write in multiple lines with this, or just single lines. It encloses the whole area with a box-like shape, as you can see, just like that. Now, if you use any Discord bots or like have used any, you would have noticed that a lot of Discord bots type using code blocks like that. Let me give you an example. So here we have Me6, probably one of the most well-known Discord bots. As you can see, everything it types right here is put in these code blocks, as it's just easier for it to format things that way. Now, code blocks make programming languages easier to read by obviously putting them in color coordination, and you can use that to write color text. As you can see, one of the most commonly known ones is just put CSS after the three backticks, and then you can get all your text in green for that line, so like that. For the next one, instead of putting CSS, you put FIX in its place, and then instead of getting green, you'll get a yellow writing. Next up, we have the red text, where you put DIFF in front of the three backticks. But you also need a dash in front of the text you're going to write. Otherwise, the text won't turn red. As you can see, you need a dash for it to turn red. Okay, so I'll just quickly go through the rest of them. Obviously, some of them no longer work, as the way coding languages are formatted always is changing. But here are the ones in 2021 that still work that I have found. Obviously, we've got the CSS that we just went through. The yellow, which is FIX. The red, which is a dash. And the DIFF. Now we have the blue, which is I and I. And then you have this around it. Oh, you need this. If not, it just turns back to white, as you can see. Alright, we've got the orange, CSS. Instead, we have this around it as well. So if you don't do it, it turns back to blue, green. So let's just put that back. Yeah, 1 and 2. Now it's back to orange. Okay. So now we have the green, it's JSON, and we have the 2 lines. I don't even know what they're called, but yeah, just that. Okay. Now we have the blue with the hashtag MD, all right, like that. The gray, it looks like this, brainfuck and gray. It's a very interesting name and also pretty nice looking text. So another way to put green, just that. And finally, we have ELM, which is yellow. You need a capital though. If it's not capital, then it turns back to white. So but non-capital, as you can see, if it's N, it's capital. M with capital, non-capital, I with capital, I without capital. So you can get an interesting blend of white and yellow. Alright, so last part, this is just basically everything else that there is to know. Before, I've had friends or like people from different servers where they just ask me, how do you put things in bold? How do you underline them? How do you put them in different, text formatting? You could tell them by saying, put 2 asterisks in front and then put 2 asterisks behind enclosing it. But some people are just too brain dead to understand simple explanations. And an easy way would just to be get them to copy and paste the whole sentence, like, just to get the thing and tell them to copy and paste this. But the problem is when you send it, the formatting takes into effect and they can't really just copy and paste it. If they do that, it just goes back to this. I've already shown you 2 ways to do it before, as you can see right here. If you put it in the code blocks, the formatting no longer takes effect. But this one up here, as you can see, I did not put it in any code blocks. Well, the way to do that is to use the slash. If you enclose each one of these in slashes, they no longer take effect. So if we do that, just copy this and paste it. As you can see, it's shown with the asterisk, with the underscore, works as the strike through, everything. Basically, it no longer takes effect and it doesn't turn into this, but rather it turns into that. Now, have you had a friend ever send something to you that you don't know how to respond? Like something shocking or just stupid that you don't know what you should say. I mean, you could just go bruh or like ... but why do that when you can just do this? There you go. If you put an underscore, leave nothing and put another underscore, you'll send a blank message, a message with no text at all. You can do this as like I do it. I use this sometimes when I don't know how to respond to someone, just like, okay. It's also funny to see some people just get confused. Like here, you can see this guy's not too familiar with the way markup work. I just sent him a blank message, not thinking much, and he's just like, wait, why is this message blank? Well, it's not an error. It was supposed to be blank because I never sent anything in the first place. So whenever you send a message, whenever you send a link, it comes up as a preview. As you can see like that, it comes up as a Reddit preview for the Reddit icon. Now, if you put a forward arrow, a left arrow and a right arrow, as you can see like that, and enclose it, you'll send a link without the preview. You can also just, cross out the preview when you send it like that if you're the one who sent the message or if you have managed message permissions. It also works with server links as well. You can't actually cross out the server link, but if you use the left arrow and right arrow to enclose it, like so, as you can see now, you sent the server link without the preview. Alright, so last but not least, you can always go on any of these websites because Discord's compatible with any fancy text generator. So like if we just put this in, like get any of these, they all work. So I just take that right here and put it in. There we go. You can use the fancy text as well. So if you want to be obnoxious, just go on any of these websites, choose whatever crazy looking thing there is, paste it, and boom, you got yourself. That one doesn't work. Okay. Does this one work? Should. Yeah, that one works. Most of them should work anyway. Ah yes, this one my favorite. It's beautiful. There you go. As you can see, all this can't read any shit of this from this. And beautiful. Okay, so one last thing. You know how some people like to use fancy text in a nickname and username? It makes them hard to ping. Well, one simple solution is to copy their ID and format it like this, and then you can ping them with that method. For more information on that, you can check out my video on Discord developer mode in a nutshell. It will have many more tips and tricks like that. Anyway, that's pretty much it for this video. See ya.